So it should deliver that 930 sell side here. And there it is. Boom. 125 handles. So what we're going to do here, okay, same exact thing as every single Monday. I don't want you to have super high expectations in terms of taking live trades. Okay, we're going to get on here first and do a full in-depth study session and backtest on our model. Okay, we're going to hop into 1 month of price action. And honestly, I'll let you guys pick. December, okay, that's actually a good month. We'll see. Let's see if it gets. We'll start at December 2nd. Okay. And I mean, we can already establish here what we're going to be utilizing. Like, it clearly looks like price wants to run for buy side. Okay, you can see that we're utilizing this inversion for value gap. Okay, so let's go down to the hourly chart. So here's December 1st, or 2nd, I should say. Right out of the gate, I don't think there's going to be a Model 3 here, okay, because it's just one straight shot higher. So this is kind of one of the, this is actually good right here. So you're going to ask, okay, what are the days that, you don't want to try to frame a Model 3? That's when every single hourly candle is just aggressively pinning higher. Like it's opening, trading below the opening, and smashing straight higher. It's not really giving way to, real market structure and retracements and that type of thing. So when you have the opening price like this, sometimes you're going to have an overwhelmingly bullish market and it's never giving you that retracement that you want. So if the model's not there, right, this is the day where you don't want to try and force that model number 3. In fact, you could look for a Model 4, but that, okay, so we do go against the grain here, but that's not Model 3. Okay, all that is retracement to send us back higher. Okay, this right here is a little higher resistant going against the grain, but then ultimately just kind of goes static into the close. So I think this is a good example of not trying to force Model 3, because anytime you get like a little like drop down like right here and you try to chase that, you're like, oh, the low's down here, right? It's not going to give it to you. Like this right here isn't a valid displacement. Why? Well, it is within the time window. We do take out a short-term high here, right? But really, number one, it's not a clear displacement. There's no fair value gaps being created, and literally right after we drop down, that's met with an aggressive, right, matchmaker of a rally. Okay, hold on. Matter of fact, take a deep breath for a moment. I'm going to go back real quick and actually give you guys something very important. I don't want to skip past this. I was going to try to keep it to Model 3, but this is actually very, very important. It's like, okay, so what do I do if there's no Model number 3? I don't want to just not take a trade, right? If it's really, smooth movement, what do I do? That's why I created Model number 4, so you don't have to always chase a Model 3 and be left with nothing, right? That is why I created Model number 4, okay? Because it works, it repeats. It's very, very simple. And what are we looking for? We already have our classic bullish power of 3 towards what? Remember, we already established the draw. That's right up here, right on the daily time frame, right? This is what we're gunning for. So we're going to keep longing until we reach this buy side liquidity resting above here, right? So we trade below that midnight opening price. We've already offered that. We accumulated below that opening right here, and then we smash higher, right? What was the very first roll that I told you guys for Model number 4? Right? Model 3 did not perform on this day here. So what do? Okay, you wait for a really assertive rally. Okay, but you also need a higher time frame key level left untapped. Okay, and that's the case right here. Okay, we have 2 stacked up daily highs. Okay, so now that we have that established, let's go to the 15-minute chart. Do we have a fair value gap left behind? What did I teach you guys? You want to have, right, and utilize the first fair value gap that works at hand. So in this case here, it's going to be on the 15 or hourly chart, very specific time frame too. 15 to hourly chart. Okay. In this case here, we have a 15-minute fair value gap. So literally, what am I doing right now? I'm teaching you guys what to do, right, when there's no Model 3. Okay. So if we go back, where's going to be your entry? Right? Well, what are you doing? You're waiting for the 15-minute fair value gap to be ran down through. Okay. Remember, we're targeting the daily buy side that's left untapped. Yes, Model 4, a 15 or hourly fair value gap, either one. Okay, 15 or hourly, that's going to be your highest quality Model 4 every single time. Notice how the first one works. That's what you want. Model 4 thrives on momentum. The correct momentum, though, not chasing price. The Model 4 isn't, oh, you wait for a rally and now all of a sudden you're longing. That's foolish. That's chasing price. But when you have it established like this, where it's an assertive rally, we have a higher time frame draw that's not met, okay? And then it drives down. Instead of chasing that with a Model 3, Okay, because I think if I never released Model 4, honestly, I was just setting you up to get wrecked. Because if all you're doing is focusing on trying to catch that reversal, right? You're not as strong as you should be because you need to know the other side of it too. Okay. So in this case here, where's going to be your entry? I mean, to me, it's pretty. I mean, honestly, pretty straightforward. If I'm not mistaken, I actually took this entry on stream on this 5-minute candle. Price drives down, takes out the previous 5-minute candle's high and the swing low right here. So we have the stop right inside of the fair value gap. Okay, the work's done. We're cool. Now we need what? Displacement. Do we get that? Yes, we do. Okay. Now we have an order block plus fair value gap right here. You see this fair value gap? Okay. Boom. Beautiful. Okay. Not complicated stuff, guys. At this point, we've already established anything. Or we've already established everything. This is the easy part now, finding the entry. All you need to do is find a fair value gap plus order block, right? Okay, anyway, the point is you want to put your stop loss below the protected low. You want to enter as the market's dropping down, not as it's rising up. Okay, can you make money by doing that? Yes, but it's just going to be easier to get stopped out. Okay, I don't do replay. There we go. So on this trade here, assuming that you could have used one NASDAQ contract, I mean, this looks like pretty realistic. I mean, yeah, this looks pretty realistic to me. It was only like a 30 handle stop, so that's pretty good in today's time. So, oh, wait a minute. Oh, shit. Look at that. Everything just happens to be right in the midst of that kill zone that we look for every single day. So anyway, we're going to go to December 3rd. And I can already see it doesn't look like that clean. Okay, I could be wrong. I mean, I'm hoping wrong. But anyway, the draw is pretty clear in this context here, right, guys? Because we already told you what we're looking for and already explained all the logic on the daily chart. Like, it's ridiculously obvious bullish order flow, right? So here is the next day, Tuesday, December 3rd. Okay, and we're looking for two things. Buy side liquidity resting above this swing high, right? Above daily swing highs is what? Buy side liquidity. And, I mean, wow, this looks like some pretty ridiculously terrible price action, to be honest, now that I'm looking at it. So I don't even know if there's anything here. And the hourly chart looks very clean, right? You can see how clean it looks in the hourly chart, but you can see with that obviousness, they're making it very, very hard. I mean, this is probably one of the most ridiculous trend lines I've ever seen in my life, and I can remember this day vividly. But so anyway, let's put on a hunting window here. Okay, let's see if there's anything here that we'd even consider significantly. Now, this is a very high resistant market, so you can't be surprised when it bangs around like this. And then finally, it looks like actually power hours took us up into the draw. Okay, but the fact of the matter is, you can see price drives up. Here is the previous session high. So once again, it's not a complicated thing. This high here is only significant because it's the previous session high. So this right here is a London high. Okay, you can see we come up and we tag that inside of the hunting window, right? And it looks like it creates a pretty textbook reversal from here. So we run up, sweep out the high, right? Price drives down. And I can see why a lot of people get tripped up in this, but the fact of the matter is you're not going to try and pick a big move to the downside when the draw is higher. So this is kind of a perfect example of when not to get tripped up with the actual model number 3. However, right, let's go through here, and I will show you there is a scalping opportunity in here, okay? Right, so inside of our hunting window right here, you see we entered 10:30 to 12:10, okay? What is price doing? It drives up, sweeps out previous session high, and then we immediately create a change of state delivery. Okay, now I guarantee you on the 1 minute chart there's an entry here. Okay, and then immediately after this change of state delivery, sweeping the high, that's the only reason why it's significant, inside of the hunting window. Okay, who's been making money? Obviously long holders. Okay, and you can see here we have this fair value gap, right? Does price disregard that? Yes, it does. You can see it closes right here, trades through that. Now, once again, I guarantee there's some type of 1 minute retracement inside here that you short. So in this case here, you know, somewhere along, your fill is going to be somewhere along here, right? And what are you targeting? Well, that's kind of the problem with this right here, because this is just going to have to be a really tight 1-to-1 RR. You're targeting actually a little bit over 1-to-1 RR. Okay, so obviously that trade panned out, right? You're shorting right there on the 1 minute retrace. Okay, or you can just short as soon as this opposing rate is disregarded after the London high is taken out. That's why it's only significant. And then you take your 1-to-1 RR down to this discount gap right below the swing low. Okay, very, very simple. So obviously on that trade, you actually would have made $300. So the funds are a little bit exaggerated here, okay? Meaning that we'd be up $1,300 if we traded the model effectively and didn't overtrade or, do anything out of emotion. So mechanically, right, this model is already 2 for 2 in terms of hunting a model 3 or 4 intraday, okay? Hourly chart, I mean, there's still no reason to try and pick a bottom, or excuse me, a top. I mean, obviously you can see it blows the top off here and trades to the daily buy side, right? So we're still expecting bullish power 3 on the day because we still haven't reached this daily buy side, okay? Not much for us to reference on the left side of the chart because it's just all-time highs, right? Blank space. So we're going to really rely on more so, intra-session liquidity pools. So we're going to see if we can do that here. Hourly chart, what's this right here? 13. So, I mean, you can frame model 3s in the PM session, but, your best bet is going to be our classic hunting window from 10:30 to 12:10, which is what I'm looking to focus on, okay? So you can see here from midnight opening, okay, we trade a little bit below that opening. Surprise, surprise. Price is offered higher. Creates this high resistant run up, and then price drives against that right at 9:30. So let's drop down. Okay, it looks pretty high resistant to be honest, but once again, looks like a pretty classic Judo swing. So price is offered below that 9:30 opening price. Okay, right here, what is it doing? It's offsetting those who have been making money to the upside. So internal range sell side has been swept right here, 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 and here. We drive down. That obviously sets the stage for price to run up deeper. Okay, and already looks like pretty low quality price action to be honest. Be the play of the day to me because what? We're establishing the hunting window. Oh, wait a minute. What do we have here, guys? Do you guys see it before I say it? Do we see it? Okay, I'll tell you guys what I see, but I want to hear it from you guys first. Once again, it's in a bullish market, so you're not going to expect like some huge trade, right? It's got to be, you just aim to 1 or 2R, right? But I see a short-term model number 3. Once again, this is another example of you not trying to hold on for too long. Okay, why? Because we're still in a bullish market, right? Model 3 scalp. Okay, good. But the fact of the matter is, you can see here you don't even need to drop down to the 1 minute chart. This right here is your change of state delivery. I'm sure there's a 1 minute gap somewhere down here, right? And on this retrace, you're going to short this right here. Now, why are you trusting this short? Because we're already in a ridiculous priced in premium. Why? Because we're significantly above 9:30 opening. We've already taken out the higher time frame key objective. And then what happens? We come up right inside. The only reason why this is significant is because it's inside the hunting window. Right here. Right at 11 a.m. inside of the macro. Price runs up. Sweeps that short-term high in an already established premium. What's going to be the highest quality, lowest hanging fruit objective opposing? Obviously right here. So you have to be quick with this entry, but this is something that we've seen before over and over and over and over again. Inside of the hunting window, you're attacking those who have been making money. Where's our sell stops going to be? Right? First and foremost, right down here. Why? Because the price has continuously been offered higher, jacking up into a premium continuously. And when they create this swing low, right? Notice how this was the most assertive rally of the day. What are people going to want to do to that? They're going to want to chase that, buy it, and as soon as this short-term swing low is created, they're putting their stop loss below there. And we're targeting that inside of the hunting window. That's why I established this hunting window, because the same exact stuff happens almost every single day. Okay? So if we pop on the replay, okay, so in this case here, your entry. Okay, remember, it's very specific stuff that we trade every single stream. So this isn't cherry picked, right? You guys have seen me trade this every single week on a consistent basis and make money up off it, right? And I'm literally just taking you back into old price and proving to you guys furthermore how much this repeats. And if you don't have a Model 3, guess what? You'll have a Model 4. If not, just a low quality data that you don't even want to touch anyway, okay? So anyway, you had the change of state delivery now below this up candle, okay? After sleeping out that short-term high, right, you look for that 1 minute retrace and then you short it, boom, right there. Put your stop loss above the high that swept buy side inside of the hunting window, right?